Hey guys, it is time for a new month and a new TBR. Hey guys, if you are new here, welcome to the Book Path. I'm Nicole, and if this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. March is here. This is green. I don't know if it shows up as more like a gray green, but I figured we'd try to be a little bit festive, and with spring coming, I know the behind me is probably going to change as videos go on. But before we get started on our readathon, I wanted to introduce to you someone or something that is going to start taking up residency here on my shelves. So if you guys have been watching my channel, you will know that back in October, my mom got me like this really pretty Dia de los Muertos doll that I ended up putting here for like the entire month of October. Some of you guys commented on how much you liked it, which was awesome. And then you guys know the story behind, if I can point her out, my little Nicole doll, because obviously the same name, she's a sporty girl, whatever. I was stopping there. I'm not big on dolls right now. You know, I've kind of outgrown my doll stage. However, my mom had messaged me because she's kind of collecting right now. And she found a doll that was from the same line as the others, but it's a newer one, and she's a creative writing student, and she loves to read, and she had books, and she drinks coffee and tea, and like I was just like, say no more. Yeah, you can grab her for me. I'll stick her up there. You know, Nicole needs a buddy, and that's it. I was like, that's it. So anyway, she came. Her box is a little dingy, but eventually you'll see her outside, and this is her. This is Scarlet. But if you can see from the glare, her sweatshirt says Storywood on it. She comes with little books and a little journal and her little coffee mug. And I was just like, yeah, I kind of have to. She's cute. And so that's it. But you'll start seeing her out on the shelves, just because she's bookish because she reads books and that's her thing. So that's it. Judge all you want. I don't care. But either way, so getting back to our books, I have to roll up the sleeves. It's a little hot here, which, side story. So my kids right now that I'm filming this are off on winter break because apparently Christmas break and holiday break that they had in December to January, that apparently is no longer winter break. Winter break now comes in February for a week, and it's not to be confused with spring break, which comes later on. However, and this is obviously probably different in other parts of the US, but I find it funny that my kids are on winter break right now. As you can see, the sun is out, and earlier this week, the blossoms on the trees and the grass is starting to grow. Example, 1 week from Tuesday, I checked my weather and it's supposed to be in the mid to high 70s here. How is that winter? I'm like, it's not winter here. It's not winter. I'm like, this should be spring break, but whatever. It is what it is. The kids have a week off from school. At least the weather's warm. It's not rainy. We've passed the rain. And now that we'll be getting up into the warmer weather, you know, it is what it is. I'll be grateful for it. I'm not grateful for the allergies that are going to come along with it, but it is, you know, like I said before, is what it is. So anyway, back to the bookish content. So with March, there are actually there are 3 readathons that I will be participating in for the month of March. And it worked out really well because for a lot of them, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff because it just kind of fills it. There will be a separate TBR video that I will probably do later in the month. And that's going to be for the next round of Final Book Support Group, which is one of the 3 that I will be participating in. Just because based on what I'm able to get through before then will probably affect that TBR. So that one will be done at a later time. So stay tuned for that. But there will be a Final Book Support Group going on. I believe it is going to be Monday, March 18th through Sunday, March 24th. So it's going to be a week-long readathon, so much more time than the last one, which I think was a weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but stay tuned for that because that will be its own separate video. So let's go ahead and get into what is kind of going to be going on for us. So first up, we have obviously the next contender in our Cocky Hero book club because we are making our way through the series. We started in January, and both of the books that we've read so far, for me at least, have been 5 stars. I have been enjoying it. I have been loving these books. So I'm hoping that that continues with our third pick and our third book, which is Stuck Up Suit by, once again, V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. I think the first 5 books are written by these two, so you're going to see a lot of them before we start getting into the other authors for the series. So for this one, it says, "It started out like any other morning on the train until I became mesmerized by the guy sitting across the aisle. He was barking at someone on his phone like he ruled the world. Who did the stuck-up suit think he was? God? Actually, he looked like a god, but that was about it. When his stop came, he suddenly got up and left. So suddenly, he dropped his phone on the way out. I might have picked it up. I might have gone through all his photos and called some of the numbers. I might have held on to the mystery man's phone for days until I finally conjured up the courage to return it. When I traipsed my ass across town to his fancy company, he refused to see me, so I left the phone on the empty desk outside the arrogant jerk's office. I might have also left behind a dirty picture on it first, though. I didn't expect him to text back. I didn't expect our exchanges to be hot as hell. I didn't expect to fall for him all before we even met. The two of us couldn't have been more different. You know what they say about opposites. When we finally come face to face, we found out opposites sometimes do more than attract. We consumed each other. Nothing could have prepared me for the ride he took me on, and I certainly wasn't prepared for where I'd wind up when the ride was over. All good things must come to an end, right? Except our ending was one I didn't see coming." So, interesting because, not gonna lie, it sounds a little weird that she's like calling numbers on his phone. I mean, this has to be a little bit older because I'm like, how would you unlock his phone? I don't know, but it's interesting, different take on stuff. So we shall see how this one goes. Hopefully it will be a 5-star like the others because they just have been really, really good. So that will be our Cocky Hero Club pick for the month of March. In addition to that, we do still have our challenge accepted pick. I, at this point in time, do not know if I'm going to get to our pick for February, March, which was Valley of Shadows by Arthur Butt. I don't know if we're going to get to that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on here for March because I do have February, March to finish it. If I finish it beforehand, I will let you guys know, and I will let you guys know what the new pick will be. But so far, I'm just going to go with this one. Once again, I'm not going to go into full detail because this book is covered in the February TBR. But this was kind of a time traveling, save the woman that he loves, fantasy romance. I think it was like, is it a novella? I'm not sure. It was a shorter page count book, but it sounded interesting because it had that sci-fi fantasy romance appeal to it. So we will get to that and go from there, and then hopefully be able to be at least on time to pick a new pick for, April, May. So one other book that I'm going to try to find a way to get into my readathons for points or whatever is going to be The Three-Body Problem by, I'm going to butcher this name, Cixin Liu. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I apologize. I really tried to find the one without the Netflix thing. But as you know, Three-Body Problem is going to be a new series on Netflix. I had heard about this book before that, and it sounded interesting, but once I knew it was getting picked up, I wanted to read the book before watching this season. It's more of a sci-fi, multiple timelines, possibly political sci-fi. I'm not so sure because this one doesn't have much really on what it's about. I'm not sure, but it looks fantastic. So I've heard really good things about the book series, anticipating the show. I know the show starts, I think, maybe towards the middle or end of March. So I want to try to get this done before then so that I can watch the show and kind of see my thoughts and see how it feels from there. So for the two readathons that I am going to cover in this video, I'm going to put them both together and then show you what I plan on reading, because I was fortunate enough that the books for these kind of fit all the prompts together. So I'm going to be doubling up as much as possible. And those two readathons are going to be Marvelathon, which is hosted by Lisa over at Lisa Does Life. I will go ahead and link the announcement video down below for you guys. And Realmathon is back again, hosted by Cassidy over at Covers with Cass. Both of these I've been doing since they started. They've been so much fun. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start with Marvelathon first. Each year, she picks kind of like, I think it was like last year was Team Old School and Team New School, based on like the older characters in Marvel versus the newer ones. And I think before that it was just like different team names. I think there was like Team Scarlet Witch, Team Loki, or Team something, whatever. And so for this year, Lisa is actually going to be Dr. Fury overseeing. She's not going to have her own team, but she's going to oversee everything. And she is going to be seeing who's going to win in Team Villains versus Team Heroes. She has a bunch of other hosts helping her out, taking on Team Captain roles. And honestly, when I was reading the prompts, I thought I was going to be Team Villain for this. But when I looked at what I wanted to get done, especially including for Realmathon and not like overbooking myself, I ended up going with Team Heroes. And you will still, basically the way it works is that you can read pretty much whatever you want. There are prompts for each team or character that you get bonus points for. And a lot of the times you'll get extra points for was there disability rep, is there LGBTQ rep, is there found family, is there, certain types of prompts for the books, and you add up your points and you basically log in, turn in your points for your books, and carry on, and whichever team has the most points at the end of the month wins. So for the main host, her prompt, because she's Dr. Fury, is going to be a book with disability representation in there. So if I read something with that, I will be able to add that bonus point on. But I ended up going with Team Heroes because the prompts that I'm going for is going to be alternate history, a character's life altered by tragedy, or a character that is immortal. There is another prompt which is for an unreliable narrator, but most of my books are told in like first or second person, so there's not really a narrator to it. But the Team Heroes are going to be Doctor Strange, Captain America, Jean Grey, and Scarlet Witch. So obviously I've been, I think, Team Scarlet Witch for a while because she is my favorite. I do also like Doctor Strange. I thought I was going to be Team Villains because they had some easier prompts, I thought. But like I said, when you see what books I picked out, it will all make sense. So once again, this is going to go from March 1st all the way through the end of the month. Read whatever you want, see what prompts you get, see what points you get, and have at it. So next up is Realmathon. And as I said before, Realmathon is hosted by Cassidy over at Covers with Cass. She has done a few things based on, like, she's designed some maps, and there's been these all-out battles because basically you choose a team, you get prompts to either strengthen your borders against the other teams or do damage against the other teams. And it's been a lot of fun because, once again, you get to read whatever you want, choose what prompts it fits. And just, it's all in good fun. And the readathons obviously include a lot of smack talk, which is great. But for this year, she's decided to switch things up again a bit, go with more of a school type theme, and you get to kind of choose your school. So for me, I have chosen the School of Shadows because the prompts were good. I have a lot more. I think each book or each team has a team book color and a team book like cover prompt or object prompt. And for me, I have a lot of darker cover books, as you can see in the back here, a lot of darker cover books. So that was going to be an easier prompt for me. And when we got to the objects, you will see. So for this one, once again, you get bonus prompts if you do the team book cover prompts, the book color prompts, the book object prompts. You get extra points there. And then you are allowed to choose 5 prompts from either the strengthening your school or doing damage to other schools prompts. So we'll see with those what points I'll get, because we'll see what I can either do the most strengthening or the most damage with. But at least I know that all of the prompts I have picked do have dark covers or black covers. And for Team Shadows, your object on the cover was a building, which I thought was going to be extremely hard until we got to our books. So let's go ahead and get to the books that I'll be reading for this month to tackle all of these prompts. So first up, we are finally getting to Chain of Thorns. This is the last book in the Last Hours series. I've had this for like a year now, and I really need to get to this. And obviously we have immortal characters in here. I don't know if I would count this as an alternate history because it does take place in Victorian London, but there are different events going on, but I don't know how it kind of alters history or not. So for the most part, I think I'm going to get the immortal characters out of here, and then maybe a character whose life is altered by tragedy, because I know this is battling against darker forces. That's great for Marvelathon, but it doesn't really seem to fit my dark black cover with building on it. Or does it? Because I found out when you take the book jacket off and you turn it inside out, guess what? It's a mostly back cover with buildings. So yeah, it counts. It counts. So I'm going to start off with reading that. Plus, this will be the end of the Last Hours series. So I will finally be able to say I finished another series, and we will go from there. But it's not over, because March is just going to be the month for the Shadowhunter world. I know we talked about this in my book haul that I did recently, where I got a few more of the Shadowhunter world books, and I was thinking it was going to be like June, July. No, we're getting it to it in March, because we are going to pick up, once we are done with the Last Hours, we finally get to tackle the Mortal Instruments series, because guess what? Black covers. And what's that? More buildings. Every book has a dark cover and a building on it, if I can get them out. I mean, they're on the spines, but they are dark covers. So I'm going to go with it, because she said at least 50% of it being black. And I'm like, well, the spine's black. This is a darker cover. We'll see. If I miss out on points for like 1 or 2, it's fine, because I know that there are other like darker covers. And then once again, the buildings. So I'm going to see what I can stretch and what I can get away with. But this will be the series that we will be picking up. And then obviously I like to read things in chronological order. So I might not get the completely 50% black cover, but I'm going to be trying to incorporate some of the books that I did just get. Like I said, we are just going full immersion into the Shadowhunter world. But once again, buildings. Yeah, buildings. So they all have buildings, and I apparently have many more building books than I thought. But these are going to be basically what I'm going to try to get my points out of for both, because dark covers, buildings on them, found families, tragedy for the characters, immortal characters, because there's vampires and warlocks and everything in here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this one series is going to cover a lot of my prompts for the rest of the month. Now, with that being said, I know I said I'm doing 3 readathons. We're doing the Cocky Hero Club. We're doing our Challenge Accepted draw. But we also still have the Magical Readathons Year in Aurelium again, similar to what we did last year. We are moving on to our March prompt. And for both of my characters, the prompt is the same. And it's to cut your way through wild vines, blocking an ancient exit. and that is to read a book that is neither the first nor last in a series. So I figured that since my whole month is going to be the Shadowhunter World series that we are starting, as long as it's not the first book, I'm golden. I'm golden. So book 2, book 3, book 3, book 4, but however many we get into, it's going to be covered. So once again, this series seems to be getting everything done. Pending how far I make it into the series, we'll see how that impacts the final book support group TBR. Like I said, I will do a separate video for that because some of those are your continuation stations, which if I'm still in the middle of the series, works out great. Some of them are to read a final book. Some of them are to read a graphic novel. So we'll get into that in another video. But like I said, this works out perfectly because I've been wanting to get into this world so much. I got the Mortal Instruments series not last Christmas, but the year before it. So it's been sitting up on my shelf for a while. I've been really wanting to get to that to mark off one of these like larger series that I know was like famous for so many people. And then maybe I'll go back to watching the television series because we'll see how that goes. I did see the movie like years ago and then they never made sequels, but whatever. So yeah, so that is basically my reading plans for the month of March. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these and what your thoughts were. I know Mortal Instruments is pretty popular, so let me know if you read it. Did you read it when it first came out? Are you getting into it later like me? Without spoilers, if you have seen the television show, how close is the television show to the book series? I mean, I'll probably still watch it either way, but let me know in the comments below. Other than that, let me know how your weather's going. Are you shifting into spring a little early? Are you still having snow out there? If you are still having snow, please stay warm, stay safe. I know stuff can get slippery out there, but I hope you guys are all well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.